Food quality assurance, manufacturing and product quality audit. The objective of GMP: first, to assess the plant facility's compliance to GMP and to minimize the risk of regulatory action. Second, to assist operations in correcting problems by providing the plant personnel with complete information regarding GMP compliance. The manufacturing and product quality audit is to assess and examine a product. Second, to produce a line of product or system that support the product to be produced, and to determine whether the product is comply with governing source documentation such as local regulation.
What is GMP audit compliance and why we need to perform it? It is compliance to current GMP regulation, other market regulation and site quality policies and procedures. It will cover the minimum sanitary and manufacturing practices that are prerequisite foundation to further implement food management initiatives. Why each industry needs to apply GMP audit compliance? First, it will verify that required system and control are in place. Secondly, it will verify if site policies and procedures are being followed. Third, it will facilitate early detection of any problem happen in the industry. GMP audits will increase operational efficiency by streamlining process and reducing non-compliant activity. It helps determination the depth of any identified problem. It also vital in the way to investigate and determine the root cause of any problem. GMP audits will recommend approval and certification of a supplier. Lastly, it will earn greater consumer confidence to their product about safeness and quality.
Alright, now I would like to talk about GMP audit on 5 elements that are important in food manufacturing industry. The first one is raw materials. GMP audit will audit on all of the raw materials supplied by the supplier. This is to ensure that all the raw materials supplied conform the standard ingredient specification established by the company. Next is production processes. GMP audit will audit on the series of processes take place during the production. This is to ensure that all the steps taken will conform the standard operation procedures. Next is maintenance of equipment use. All of the equipment used will be audited based on its maintenance record. This is to ensure that the equipment's performance will run smoothly during the production and doesn't affect the production processes. Next is labeling process. GMP audit is important on labeling process as to ensure that all the labels on the packaging conform the standard labeling procedure. The last one is staff training and handling practices. GMP audit are prior on these elements as to ensure that all the staffs and employees involved in the company performs their tasks really well and in efficient way. This is because staff performance will adversely affect the quality of finished product.
Next, building and facilities. It must suitable size, construction, and location to facilitate cleaning, maintenance, and proper operations. Next, plan the adequate space for orderly placement of equipment and materials to prevent mix-ups and contamination. Then, design the adequate flow of materials and persons to prevent contamination. Lastly, important to have a maintenance schedule for facilities and equipment because it can reduce the risk of product contamination and maintain the validated state of facility or equipment. Next, prevention of physical, chemical, and biological hazards. Firstly, physical hazards. Physical hazards is caused by foreign objects entering food during the food preparation and service process and generally results in an injury rather than in illness. Example of physical hazards such as glass fragments, dust from poor cleaning, metal fragments, sand or glass or plastic. Next, chemical hazards. Chemical hazard is caused by the presence of toxic chemicals in food. Examples of chemicals that may contaminate food include pesticides, insecticides, rat poison, cleaning agents, or chemicals resulting from a chemical reaction between food and inappropriate storage containers, such as galvanized cans. Next, biological hazards. Example of biological hazards such as pathogenic bacteria, viruses, worms, and protozoa. People, animals, or pests can all cause bacterial contamination. Examples of how this could occur include poor personal hygiene such as food handlers sneezing over the food or not washing hands after eating or using the toilet. Next, in-house laboratories. It reviews the GMP requirements and their interpretation and application to quality control, chemistry, and microbiology laboratory operations. These also include the essential laboratory systems, programs, and procedures, the current GMP compliance issues, and FDA's expectations for lab systems and controls. Next, record and documentation. Record and documentation enable to track all activities performed during batch manufacture from the raw materials to the final product release. So, it provides a history of the batch and its distribution. It is the essential part of GMP to keep accurate records and during audit, it will help convey that you are following the procedures. Next, lastly, consumer complaints recording. Records of consumer complaint must be recorded correctly because to stay as preferred brand or companies need a solution which integrates their food safety initiative through adequate audits and triggers corrective action in case of any customer complaints.
Maintain and use a written SOP for GMP auditing in order to ensure all audits are conducted in a consistent manner Establishing a written audit procedure will help them meet the minimum requirements. The audit procedure is the roadmap to a successful audit. Some information include monthly the frequency of audits, the system to be checked, whether audits are announced or unannounced, and who should be included on the audit team. Next, eliminate any conflicts of interest. The most common conflict of interest to arise for internal auditor is when he or she has responsibility for an area to be audited. External or supplier auditors can face other types of conflicts of interest, including having a family member or friend who works for the company, owning a significant amount of stock in the company, or having previously worked there. The most important characteristic of a good auditor must have is integrity during audit. Use checklist as needed. A well-prepared checklist will include instruction on how the checklist is to be used. Besides, a quick review of the log of documents and procedures will provide good insight on how often procedures have been updated. Next, assume a cooperative and non-confrontational manner while auditing. Internal GMP auditor role is to assist the company by ensuring that all proper quality and GMP specifications are being properly met. Therefore, a good working relationship can ensure that everyone gets to keep their job and that the company remains profitable and respected. Each individual in the company should have the same goals in making safe, pure, and effective products. Thus, acting in a cooperative and non-confrontational manner will help all members to achieve this goal.
Next, make sure that your audit report is completed in a timely manner. For some auditors, drafting the audit report is the least favorite part of the job because it is time-consuming and it can seem like there is always something more urgent to which you must attend. However, auditors who don't complete audit reports in a timely manner may jeopardize their own professionalism. The sooner you can put the results of an audit on the paper, the fresher it will be in your mind. Therefore, it is more likely to be accurate if it is done right away. Also, it is important to get the feedback to the people who are affected by the findings as quickly as possible. If the audit findings are presented right away while it is still fresh in their minds, they will be more likely to take needed corrective action in a timely manner. Other than that, in GMP auditing, you must consider to address scheduling issues. When considering when to schedule audits, make sure that you do a GMP audit at least once a year. Also, you will have to decide whether to do an unannounced or announced audit. Usually, unannounced audits are more common. Assure confidentiality of outcomes. Assuring the confidentiality of the outcomes of the audit and audit reports is extremely important as an auditor fosters a good relationship with the people you will be auditing. Make sure that they know that you are not trying to embarrass them or to catch them doing something wrong. Remind them that the purpose of your audit is to check systems to make sure that there are no lapses in quality and that the results will not be used in a way that publicly target individuals. In most cases, even the FDA will not be able to look at internal audit results. And lastly, plan corrective actions and re-audits if necessary. The last step of an audit is to participate in the planning of corrective action, the time frame in which it will occur, and to schedule a re-audit of deficient areas. This will ensure that improvement results from the findings of the audit.
In conclusion, manufacturing and product quality audit is important to maintain the quality of product in terms of safe for consumption attributes and hence it will satisfy the consumer.